Hey everybody, ThrewRedButter here, back again with another beer review, coming at you today with something pretty cool, I think. In my last review, I reviewed a recent version of the Abyss Imperial Stout from Deschutes Brewing out of Oregon, I believe Bend, Oregon. I mentioned it's barrel aged. I wasn't sure what kind of barrels. I did previously mention in the video that it was kind of elusive, trying to find information on the beer itself. So, I don't know. Then for some reason, I remembered in years past that I had traded for Deschutes beer. And also, I knew I had traded for variations, and I have a box of vintage beers that I open from time to time that I've actually reviewed some on this channel. I'm like, oh, let me check the box. I kind of thought the back of my head I might have had a vintage bottle of the Abyss. And I'm not surprised I found it, but I found a special variation on the Abyss from 2017. A rum barrel aged version. Aged in rum barrels for 10 months. Imperial stout with blackstrap molasses, licorice with cherry bark, and whole vanilla beans. 100% aged in rum barrels for 10 months. Very cool. Bottled on September 15th, 2017. 13.9%. I believe I'm reading that correctly. It's very small. 13.9% alcohol by volume. This is Deschutes Brewing, rum barrel aged, the Abyss. Very cool. Remarkably limited release, as the bottle says. And I believe they did other barrel variations on it, not just rum barrel. They might have done tequila barrel or bourbon barrel. Don't quote me on that, but this is rum barrel aged. I believe on their website they're still selling vintage bottles of this. I did not buy it from the website, but figured since I just did regular Abyss, luckily I had this, so bust out a vintage bottle that's... Can you see me trying to do basic math in my head? Oh, it is so sad. I am so sorry. So, 2017, so over 8 years old. The last big vintage bottle I did was also 2017. And in the box, I found other bottles from 2017. So, if you put your thinking caps on, obviously, I saved all those beers in the year 2017, not knowing I wouldn't drink them for a while. But figured this would be fun. A rum barrel aged in rum barrels for 10 months. I already went over it, so see how it held up, see if, anything happened to it. But the appearance on the 2017 rum barrel aged Abyss. Just like regular Abyss, which again I just reviewed, pitch black, all regards, no brown, ruby red at all on the edges, just a pure Abyss, a blackness to look into. Look at that. We still got a nice, not a lot of head, but, half a finger of almost dark brown head. All right. Pretty cool. Sticking around for a while. Let's get an aroma on rum barrel aged Abyss. I could smell the rum when I poured it out of the bottle. It's not overpowering all too much. It's mellowed out quite a bit. Definitely get that black licorice, though. That's still singing. Dark chocolate in the background. Probably if I let this warm up a little bit more, a bit more is going to come out, especially on the taste. Talk amongst yourselves. Give you a topic. Rhode Island. It's neither a road nor an island. If you get the reference, we can be friends, but I do get those hints of cherry in there. Not as big as Standard Abyss, again, which I just reviewed. Sorry I'm being so repetitive, but those flavors jumped out of the glass. Not really jumping out of the glass here, but, we're talking over 8 years of aging. Not surprised it's mellowed out, but Doesn't smell bad. So let's get a taste on Rum Barrel Aged Abyss 2017. Cheers. There's really no rum on the taste. I gotta say that right now. But again, doesn't taste bad. So I don't think any kind of oxidation or any infection has gotten to the bottle, and all the time it's been sitting in a box. But yeah, it's pretty mellow all around. I did get some dark chocolate, milk chocolate, some subtle coffee. Subtle cherry, subtle wood, subtle is the name of the game. The fresh bottle of standard Abyss popped off so much more. This not really. Father Time has really done it in. Kind of a bland Imperial Stout, sorry to say. Just might be one of those cases where aging it, especially for this long, just does not bring anything to the table. Body is still nice and thick and full and viscous, so that hasn't changed at all. And all the time it's been sitting around, what I say, 13% on this one. No alcohol or booze. I mean, there's nothing unpleasant about it. It's just so the flavors have faded with age. Sorry to say. I'm sorry. Sorry, it's not a banger. But here's what it is, man. Sorry. Sorry, it's not my fault. Well, it is my fault for letting it sit along for so long, but whatever. So, for final score, final verdict, final rating on the 2017 Rum Barrel Aged Abyss Imperial Stout from Deschutes Brewing. Yeah, I'm not going to be a broken record and go over everything. Aging it for this long just killed all the flavors. Nothing bad, so nothing bad happened to the bottle. It's just, as you get older, man, everything just starts going. I can tell you that right now. So, meh. Definitely better fresh. So, your Deschutes Abyss beers, drink them fresh. I mean, meh. 5 out of 10. Nah, it's not. Gotta emphasize. Not bad. Not indicative of the Abyss beer itself. Because again, I just reviewed a fresh vintage and that was superb in all stances. But if you're thinking about picking up a vintage bottle, there's no point. Just saying. Sorry to deter people from, purchasing from a business, but again, I believe I saw vintage bottles available on their website. I don't see you doing it. Definitely get the fresh vintages, though. Definitely friggin' clean them out. A fresh Abyss. 100%. I'll support that. 7 days a week, but yeah, stop. 5 out of 10. Aging it does not bring anything to the table. 5 out of 10. Rum Barrel Aged 2017. Abyss Imperial Stout. That's going to do it for me. Through Red Butter. Till next time. Cheers, everybody.